Today I'm going to show you how to build a real web app from scratch using Cursor 2.0 without writing much manual code. We're going to create a small prompt library app where you can add, browse, view, copy, and delete your favorite AI prompts. I'm starting from an empty folder, and I'll build the entire thing using plain English instructions. Let's jump in. Here I'm creating a brand new folder, prompt library. It's in my home directory. I'll open that. This is going to open the project and the main Cursor interface here. In my first chat, I'm going to describe the web application that I want to develop. Cursor will take care of the scaffolding of the entire project for me. The framework, the pages, the styling, the types, everything. So create a simple web app in the folder called Prompt Library. Use whatever web framework you're most comfortable with. For example, Next.js, which is a web framework built on top of React. TypeScript, which adds types to that JavaScript framework. And Tailwind CSS, which is a way of styling your website using classes, instead of writing lots of manual CSS. For this web app, I want a home page that shows a list of the saved prompts as cards, a page where I can add a new prompt, and a page where I can view a single prompt in detail. Each prompt should have a title, the full text of the prompt, a category, for example, email or education, some tags, for example, friendly or rewrite, a short description of when to use the prompt, and the date it was created. For now, please store all prompts in the browser. For example, using local storage, not on a real database. Local storage is a built-in browser feature that saves data directly on your device. Here in my chat, I'm also going to tell Cursor to set up a basic, clean layout using Tailwind CSS, so the web app doesn't look completely plain. Let me run that prompt. Cursor is now generating all the files and structure for the app. Whenever it needs to run a terminal command, it'll ask me first. I just approve it, and Cursor handles everything behind the scenes. We'll just let that run. I can see it even takes care of the program linting, which analyzes the code and looks for bugs or errors. Looks like the code is done. Great. To run and test the app locally, it looks like I need to run npm run dev, which starts the development server so I can see the app live. Let me just ask Cursor to do it. Can you run dev? Okay, running dev. Where do I go to see the app? What's the URL? For testing. There it is, localhost, port 3000. I'll click on that link. That'll launch the app in my default browser. So here's the app, prompt library. I can see it created and saved 2 default prompts. Let me click this to see more info. Nothing there, not working. Let me click this one, also not there. A couple of buttons up here. I can add a prompt. When creating a prompt, I can add the title, a short description, the category here, and of course the prompt text along with any tags. Not sure if this page even works, so let me cancel for now. Let me go back to Cursor. On the page where I add a new prompt, please make sure the form actually saves the prompt into local storage or equivalent, including title, full text, category, tags, description, and creation date. After saving, send me back to the home page so I can see the new prompt as a card. Now let's run that. It's updating the code as needed. Looks like it's done. Let's go back to the app in my browser to see and test the updates. Okay, I'm back in the app. I'm going to click Add Prompt. We'll test this form. I'm going to use some test information for a prompt. We'll call it Friendly Professional Email Rewrite. I'll just add a short description. I'll keep the category of the prompt as email. Here's the prompt text itself. And then I'll add some tags. Let me save that. There it is. I see the prompt on the home page. I'll click View Prompt. So this view doesn't seem to be working yet. That's okay. Let's update our code. Go back to Cursor. Here's my next chat. Clicking on any of the cards on the home page does not show the info for that prompt. Let me just paste in the error we see on that view prompt web page. It just shows We couldn't find that prompt. It may have been deleted or never saved on this device. Let's run that. Hopefully it'll update our code correctly. We'll let this run, update the code. I'll run terminal commands as needed. It's doing the linting as well, so it's analyzing the code for accuracy. I can see all the changes that were made. Let's go back to the browser and check the app. Let me click View Prompt to test the functionality. Oh, there it is. See the title, the tags, prompt text. I see the Copy Prompt button as well. Let me test that. Then I'll go over to a blank Sublime document. I'll try to paste the prompt there. Great. Copy Prompt button works. Let me go back to the app. Might be nice to be able to delete a prompt as well. Let me quickly add that functionality. Can you add a Delete Prompt button on the prompt detail page? It should delete the prompt and return to the home page. Run that. Let it make the changes. And there's the summary of the changes made. Let's go ahead and check it out. Oh, there's the delete prompt button. I'm going to click that. Back to the home page, and the prompt's gone. I see this browse prompts button up here, but I'm already on the home page, browsing the prompts. It should appear on the other pages, but not the home page. Let me hide it on the home page. On the home page, don't show the browse prompts button. It's not needed on that page. Now, while I'm at it, add simple controls to filter prompts by category and sort prompts by most recent or by title. Run that. Update the code. Let's go ahead and take a look at the app. I see the Browse Prompts button is gone. I can filter prompts by category over here. Email, education. I can sort by most recent or by title. Great. Let's deploy the app. In order to do that, I need to first put the app under version control, and then I'll push it to a GitHub repository, and then I'll deploy it to Vercel. Looking good. Can you put the project under Git? This will run all the local Git commands for me. Git init, Git add all the files in the project. Now it's going to try to make the initial commit. Git first wants to configure a user email and a username to set my identity for all commits I'm going to make in Git. This is a typical Git workflow. I'm going to skip these steps for now. For the Git config, let me give Cursor a specific email address, and I'll give it a specific username. It wants to run git config with that information. Then it's going to try to run that initial commit again. There we go. Let me quickly get the status of Git. Great. Now we're ready to push to a repository in GitHub. So I'm going to go to my GitHub account. I'm going to create a new repository. I'm going to name it Prompt Library. I'm going to keep it private for now. Create repository. I'm going to push my project to this repository. So let me copy the Git URL right here. Push to remote repo. I'll paste in the URL. It's going to try to push to the remote repository. This actually requires authentication, which makes sense. I'm going to create what's called a personal access token within GitHub, and I'll use that for authentication. Let me go back to GitHub. Under my profile, I'm going to go to Settings. I'm going to scroll down to Developer Settings. Under Personal Access Tokens, I'm going to click Tokens. Generate New Token, Classic. For the scope, I'm going to select Repo. This gives full control of private repositories. And then I'll just add a note here, Cursor, Interactions, Generate Token. There it is. I'm going to copy that. Back in Cursor, I'm going to give Git my PAT. It's going to use that to set the remote repository. Then it's going to push the project to the repository. The project should be there now. Let's go ahead and check. Back in GitHub, I'm going to go to the prompt library repo. And here's the entire project, pushed from my local development environment. Now I'm going to deploy the app to Vercel. Here I am in Vercel. I've set up a free account. I'm going to go ahead and add a new project. And then I'm going to import from the prompt library repository in my GitHub account. I'll go to select a Git namespace, add GitHub account. I'll configure my GitHub account, then give Vercel permission to access that repository. There's my prompt library repository. Let me directly import the project, then deploy. It's now deploying my app in GitHub to Vercel. There it is, it's done. Let me test it. Click here. There's the app. Let me do some quick testing. I'll click Add Prompt. I'll add a title. There's the prompt text, some tags, short description, save prompt. There it is, friendly email rewrite. Let's add another prompt. Friendly reminder email. There's the prompt text. There are my tags. Short description, save prompt. There it is. Just for fun, I'm going to add one more prompt. Explain topic as a recipe. There's the prompt. Change the category to education. Short description. And some tags. Save prompt. Let me try to view a prompt. I'll delete this one. And it's gone. I can view prompts by category, email, education. Looks like everything's working. A fully deployed app from Cursor to Vercel. Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe. More interviews and demos coming soon.